And we are live. Welcome, everybody. This is the Treasury Masterminds podcast, live from EuroFinance, live from Budapest. I'm here with Declan Mc Dermott from Nomentia. Welcome, Declan.
Hi, thank you, Patrick. Hello, everyone.
Dive straight through into it. How's Budapest treating you?
Fantastic.
Very good.
Yeah. So a really absolutely hectic few days here, you know,
Yes.
a little bit of time for sightseeing, but obviously the EuroFinance just keeps you occupied
It
for
does.
the complete day. And yeah, it's been a very hectic time, very tiring, as you can hear.
Yes.
I've just got a little bit of voice left to manage this podcast for you, but yeah, otherwise just a success. It really was a success.
I'm very happy you have a voice left.
Yeah.
My voice is a bit edgy as well, but it's part of it. Treasury community, work hard, play hard.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm curious, Declan. You had so many conversations probably in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
Which one was the most surprising, weird conversation you had where you think, hey, audience, this is what you need to know?
Wow. Okay. Well, I think the most general question I'm coming through, maybe not always surprising, but it's a real-time cash forecasting. For me, it's surprising how many multi-billion-dollar companies really haven't got a grip of that yet. You know, so should it surprise me? No, it's a reality. The way things are, you know, companies just are not at that stage yet to develop their cash management, to enhance it to an automated stage. But that's always surprising for me. So how do you really manage your day-to-day processes with lack of bank integration? No visibility on their bank statements, no automation at all. So it's really, this is something I did myself for so many years before working for Nomentia. So I've got a real empathy for these people, you know. So I really love giving them advice where they need to start, because it can seem overwhelming, but it's important just that they understand that it's all manageable and just they just need to find a starting point.
Yes, exactly. Great answer. I'm hearing the same, but I'm still hearing clients, companies, treasurers out here who use EuroFinance very wisely as a way to, I can speak to all my vendors, but they're starting from scratch. They still have 10 banking portals, they manual Excel sheets, and then it's overwhelming if you have to. And I tell them, start with bank connectivity first. Start with forecasting later. And that makes sense. If you look then at EuroFinance 2025, is there overarching theme what you're hearing from treasurers? Is it cash flow forecasting? Is it something else?
Combination, but overall, there's this the AI conversation at the moment. What that can do within Treasury. So never ending, maybe over expectations sometimes from some customers. And then when you talk to them, so it's always the thing when they come to the stand, they introduce themselves, and they immediately want to know, so what do you guys do with AI? Question, what do you need to solve?
That's the first question they ask. What do you do with AI? Okay.
But the reply to that is, well, can I ask you, what do you need to solve? What solution are you looking for?
Yes.
So, and then we start a more general conversation, you know, about what features we can provide, and ultimately the reality too of where a company needs to be health-wise, what's in its financial systems before it can even start to embrace AI. You know, this is the reality. Yes. And then it's a bit of a step back. You know, I think they appreciate that. They start to think a little bit more about constructively about the way they need to approach it. You know, I think there's maybe, can we say, an oversimplification that they think they can just install a software, stand back, and just let this thing take over like a chatbot. Like you know, it's
that would be cool, huh?
Yeah, well, let's hope not too soon for our sakes.
I wonder if it's ever going to happen. But I hear you say AI is the tool.
Yeah.
You still need to do it.
Yeah.
You find the use case that fits the tool, not the tool that fits the use case. Not the problem to the solution. Solution to the problem.
Yeah.
Great. Of course, you're also talking to CFOs a lot. You're talking to treasurers. Here you're talking to maybe more treasurers.
Yeah.
Do you hear different things what a CFO wants or things a CFO needs for the treasury, and what treasurers are saying, no, these are my priorities?
Yeah, you can really see that. What I see, especially for CFOs, are really getting more involved in digital adoption. So this was something that wasn't so discussed at the higher level. They were just saying, this is what I expect. You find the solution, but I really see them getting more engaged at an enterprise level. So obviously Treasury is an important part of that, but any any CFO worth his value at the moment is looking at the whole enterprise, where he can bring value through automation, digital enhancements, and potentially, if you want to say again, the use of AI. But thinking in all the considerations, they're looking at obviously the return on investment as well, improvement in efficiency, and ultimately shareholder value. That's the big thing. And security is always the big question. So when I've got a team I'm demonstrating the system to, the guys that'll be using the system are very interested in the functionality, but you normally see the CFOs more like, what's my guarantee and security? What peace of mind can you give me that you've got a system that can deal with my complex organization, securely and safely? So yeah, I suppose from a treasurer's perspective, they're really focused on more the day-to-day improvements within their team, how they can support their team, make a more agile team, try to free up a lot of these repetitive tasks. That's the main thing. So you can really engage your team more in constructive treasury, improvement. I think that's the clear difference for me. And of course, the cash flow side of it as well. The cash visibility is key for any treasury director, manager.
So it's my starting point. If I talk to CFOs, treasurers, I'm like, how much cash do you have now? How much cash do you have in 6 months? How much is visible on a push on a button? That's the ideal solution. TMS in the morning, the bank statements are in. It's my starting point. I don't want to look backwards. I'm a treasurer, not an accountant. I want to start my day doing what I don't want, looking forward.
So right.
Great. Of course, we had a conference here. All your competitors are there, flashy stands, flashy buzzwords, keywords. What's your advice to treasurers visiting here for the first time, maybe more junior treasurers? What's buzzword? What questions should they be asking? How do they really decide on, is it not that fancy an AI tool? Is it really plug and play? How do they go through the buzzwords and the real value of treasury?
Wow. In a sentence, don't listen to the pitch. Tell them your problem.
I like it.
Get straight to business. There's so many competitors here. If you are looking for a solution, if you've made that dedication, if you've got shall we say, a budget in place, you've got the green light from your CFO, you have a lot of stands you need to visit. You're going to get a lot of demonstrations, a lot of buzzwords, over-promising about what they can achieve and how they can simplify your processes. Understand clearly your primary problem within your current environment and let them explain how they solve that. And I think that's a good way to start the conversation. So I can't repeat enough, just avoid the pitch and just tell them your problem.
And of course, you're not over-promising.
No. Of course.
Very good. Just a quick note towards the audience. If you have questions for me or for Declan, especially for Declan, that's why he's here for. Put them in the chat. We do see them. Good morning, Vincenzo from Amsterdam. Good that you're joining. Put them in the chat and we'll ask them at the end or in between. Good. Next question. Declan, you've been with several TMS providers. I saw on your LinkedIn. You've seen the market change. 5 years ago, TMSs were different. 10 years ago, they weren't even called TMS yet. What changed? What's the main factor that changed?
I think just the evolution of the whole industry. We see a lot of acquisition now as well, I think for good reasons as well. You see this best of breed modular TMS environment, which I think is the way forward. That's really what treasurers are looking for. This way, through acquisition, the way you're able to collaborate and integrate all these specialist systems like we talk about that were on the market 5 years ago, and just allowing a business to select a vendor that they can slowly ramp up their treasury operations, that modular approach, where, as we said earlier, you just focus on that cash visibility, get your statement integration, ultimately your payments, and then long-term try to integrate more your forecast and then additional functionality on top of that. So this is, I think just a best of breed and model is the way I see it going at the moment. And
one tool that rules it all.
Not for all companies, but I think the vast majority. Some of them still need more of an enterprise solution, but I think that modular SaaS environment, low IT, I think is the key. The way strategically companies are looking now. In the past, you did need to be a bit savvy to navigate and get the best out of your system. But for myself and Nomentia, what I appreciate about the system is just usability, that even myself in the short time I've been there, the effectiveness I've got within the system to present to other potential customers as well. Absolute, if not no code, low code environment that gives you full control over your system, your integration, your statement feeds, any additions you need to make. That scalability you can achieve as well with any future growth within your company is all achievable at the moment.
Okay, that makes me wonder, Declan. Do you consider Nomentia different to the Congo? What does Nomentia make it stand out to the others? According to your opinion, you're of course not biased
in my
at
short
all.
experience, I think that the high value we bring to customers, that's the thing I like about them, where we're always there for the journey. You know, we don't hand over once the contract is signed. You know, we're constantly involved either between sales, pre-sales. I was the guy there at the first meeting, just to do that initial conversational scope of what the client was looking for. And I always stay engaged right through that, you know. So I think the partnership we have with the clients is great. I think the speed at which we can bring cash visibility online is important. We've got a really good lean implementation team that's got a very, very fast turnaround. So that wow factor, you know, yourself, you know, when you take somebody from an Excel sheet, you've got a very, very tired treasury team that are struggling with broken tokens, lost passwords, you know, those stuff that shouldn't really happen. And that moment you show them, guys, there's your bank balances for the day on one single page. So I think getting to that stage very, very fast is something they appreciate. Yeah.
Okay. So you try to do the implementations in-house with an in-house team. Consultants.
Again, it depends on the client, the size and scope of their project, you know, because we work on some big projects, and then from that perspective, they're probably already engaged with a specialist consultant who's brought essentially the vendors to the table to make the selection. And in a lot of cases, they'll know the history better than us, the environment. They've already been there, embedded within the company. So it's what I've done myself in the past, you know. So I would say that's probably in a lot of cases the advisable way forward. But we have a very, very experienced implementation team. So certainly we're capable of doing that, but it really comes down to the customer's choice, who they prefer.
Clear, and the size of the implementation.
Yes,
if it's payment hub only, that's quick. And
exactly, there's no need for any extra expense to be incurred by the client. You know, that's pretty much black and white.
Makes sense. I do want to come back on this best of breed, one-stop shop, because I get that question a lot from my clients. Should I buy this big tool that does everything, or specialized modules, tools which are best integrated? Do you see a shift in the market and more best of breed? You already mentioned it, or is it also the consolidation of the market? Bigger is better.
No, not really. I think we have more lean, agile solutions now that, again, that keep on coming back to that modular approach. This is what I see as really winning the conversation at the moment, you know, and what treasury teams and ultimately CFOs are looking for. That, because again, starting out the journey, not everybody knows, you know, the full concept of what they need to achieve. So I think a modular approach helps you with that. You're able to phase out your implementation, take it stage by stage, so it's not so overwhelming. Because in a lot of cases, this is the problem. They just never had the time. They've been so busy firefighting with the day-to-day operations that they've never had the breathing space to actually even, they know they need it, but when do we start doing that, you know? So they need to grow a team that's stable, that's working together, and ultimately find that space and time where you say, guys, this is it now. This is our full focus. We're going to improve our cash visibility, shall we say, for the start, and obviously automate the whole treasury process.
So start there with your biggest pain point, go from there, but keep your end in mind, because if you solve one solution first, then you need to look in the big one.
Whatever it is within your organization, if it's bank connectivity, if it's statement visibility, or if it's maybe your FX, I've seen that also, you know, FX management can also be a critical concern for some companies. Identify what's costing you the most time, costing your team the most stress, keeping you awake at night, and just focus on that.
On those.
Measure the win, the return on investment on that win, and just let that drive your next stage of the process.
I love ROI approaches. They make it really visible. Also to CFOs, treasurers know the value usually, but CFOs like how much is it costing, how much is it bringing us. And if we show it's costing this, it's this, it's positive ROI on the long term, not always in money, but also in time and efficiency.
Yes.
And then it's easy for CFO to say, go ahead, do it. And that helps me as well. Let's jump into the AI and automation. We have to talk about it. It's a buzzword, not a buzzword. It's a big theme in EuroFinance. We had many sessions. I had a few panels about it. And one of them is the everlasting topic on cash flow forecasting. It's a never-ending challenge. What are the key mistakes you see companies making in cash flow forecasting? And how can a TMS help solve them? Can it solve them?
Yeah, key mistakes, bad configuration really with integration, missing data feeds is quite a common one. The ability to get that global exposure across all their bank accounts. It can be any number really of concerns, but I think for me it's just really missing information is one of the key drivers for poor forecasting. Yeah.
So you have to take a step back and
really think about it.
There's a tool for cash flow forecasting, but work at your data quality. Yeah,
as we were talking earlier, in fact, if we talk about AI, people coming to the table, so can you do AI forecasting?
Yes.
And they say, well, what's the problem with your current forecast? What do you think needs improving? And then we slowly start stepping backwards from that discussion, really what value AI can bring to them, because it's not for every company.
Yes.
And also the prerequisite as well. If you want an adequate AI agile forecast, we need at least 4 years of historic good structured, clean cash flow data from your system, which is not always available for companies.
Wow. Okay. So in the worst case scenario, it takes 4 years to build that, and then your forecast starts improving if you don't have any history.
We need 3 years at least for the regression, for the testing, and then we overlay the results with the 4th year of real data, just to see which model works best.
Interesting. Okay. And of course, AI is not cash flow forecasting. Cash flow forecasting can be AI. We've seen AI on the agenda a bit more in EuroFinance. What other use cases are you seeing? Maybe also with Nomentia?
This is, even if Nomentia is one thing, because I'm daily dealing with clients working on the solution management side. So a lot of questions asked, what else can AI solve? But really just at the EuroFinance conference itself, it's some key conversations I've had with people that are already engaged in enhancing their forecast. They really understand it. So they've got a long-term strategy. They've built in already robotic automation of their, repetitive tasks. So they really got a, shall we say, a handle on their problem. They've cleaned up all that repetitive day-to-day processes that they're dealing with, and then they start to enhance that analytical side at the end with some AI functionality. Spoke with a gentleman yesterday. He's on that journey, and now he's looking at the challenge of maybe introducing it into his foreign exchange planning.
Okay.
So that was really, to me, somebody that's actually on this journey, spent a lot of time investigating it. Whether they'll ever find something that's really useful for them, but it just fascinated me that somebody's really facing that challenge. He actually is convinced he can find a working around solution that can monitor his FX exposure, do the negotiation with the bank, look at the markets. So it's and obviously within certain parameters, thresholds that they would set, it would maybe ultimately be able to execute on that trade as well and produce the payments. So
it's fascinating.
It's fascinating.
It is. I saw questions like these coming back in some of my panels from the audience. Predictive analytics, it all sounds very cool. Agentic AI, and not the AI if then, the really AI which thinks along, feeding it information, changing decision making, and ultimately doing the decision making. I think it's a bit scary.
The governance around that.
How close are we to treasurers trusting AI fully? Treasurers used to have gut instinct. I know where my cash is. I have a feeling when it's going up and down.
Yeah.
I have this seasonality. It's in my mind,
Yes.
and that's a bad thing because it shouldn't be in the mind of the treasurer.
Yeah.
It's better to be in a system.
Yeah.
But can we trust the system fully yet?
It's the way we look at it, isn't it? It's more of a collaboration. It's not a coup, as we say. It's not going to take over the environment, but I think it should be seen more as like a digital analyst, your treasury assistant that's always there. But it's more of a collaboration to me at the moment. I don't really see that opportunity yet. I keep on thinking of the practical issues, like how do you explain this to your audit team next year?
Yes, no, but it's an amazing question because auditors are not treasurers, definitely not treasurers.
Yeah.
If you can't explain it to them, then
who
you
made that
can't explain
decision?
it. I sometimes say, if you understand a complex product solution, you can explain it to your grandma, and she needs to understand it. But let's use auditors for now. With all respect to the auditors listening,
sorry guys,
it's about hardcore treasury here.
I love you all.
Definitely. Let's focus on this ROI a bit because I love my ROIs as well. Sometimes treasury struggles to prove ROI. Where does a TMS even create the most measurable impact? Not ROI yet, but where's the impact?
The impact, return on efficiency is the low-hanging fruit, really. That's the main initial benefit you're going to see, just that day-to-day operational efficiency, where you get everything centralized through a single solution, single dashboard. But then you're looking at more strategic planning, the improvement on that. The question that keeps on back to me is companies, when they're going through a certain growth phase, they've neglected the environment. They just say, well, it works, it happens. My shared service centers are operating in cost-effective locations, so maybe it's better I can hire somebody there to download bank statements than to pay a fee for automation of that. But now they're getting to the stage where there's a scalability issue within the company. Maybe they're approaching an acquisition themselves, or they're bringing in another company. And then they realize, wow, our backs are against the wall here. We don't have any capacity to onboard another company or to integrate with an external company. So that's the real added value, I think. That you can know.
And is that efficiency then time saved, money, or is it even more complex, better decision making, less risk?
It's a combination of them all. How do you measure time saved? Because your team's getting on with more productive tasks. This is a real advantage you bring. You're creating a truly agile team, I think. Removing those repetitive tasks, the simple stuff during the day, just frees people up to get more involved and spend more time on the strategic planning of the company rather than just firefighting all day.
Yes. There might be some treasurers listening, looking, okay, that all sounds interesting, but that's a journey. Tell me a quick win. If I should start tomorrow, if I do a TMS, what's a quick win I'm getting within weeks, within months?
Cash visibility.
Okay.
That's the wow factor, I think, for a lot of people that have been struggling. From my experience anyway, when you light that system up for the first day and you go, guys, this is look how much money you've got today.
That's 100% of my cash there in one view. Yes.
Never ceases to amazes me, the smile on the faces, when all that challenge, the process, and just that first day when you give them access to the system, and
and then the balances are visible.
It's like a Santa Claus moment, isn't it?
For treasurer, yes. For the auditors, maybe not. For the auditors as well, they like that too. I have to use the example. I had one client intake for a potential TMS, and they were telling me a story, and then in between she had to do payments, and she brought out a small makeup bag. I was like, what are you going to do? And there were all of these different bank tokens were in there, like 7 of them, and some of them are big, some of them are small, with small numbers. I was like, what are you going to do? I have to do some payments, and finding the machine to do it, and then doing payments. I'm like, what happens if you lose that bag or if you forget it? I can't do the payments. This is my holy bag. It even goes on holiday.
I'm getting post-traumatic trauma here.
Yes, but me as well. And this was 2 years ago.
How did we survive that? Because I've been exactly not even a small makeup bag. I had a big toilet bag. But I used to constantly carry. They have it's to the point they would go on vacation with you. Really, but that was the instability of the environment we lived in. It brought you value to the team because you were. I don't know, an important member of the team, but it just wasn't acceptable,
10 years ago maybe, but now it's, I told her this is unacceptable.
It's a real challenge, and you do have that risk as well. What happens if they get lost, But I've seen it all. I've seen batteries die when the most important trade payment of the day was supposed to be made. The token goes down, somebody's off sick, they've got the passwords, the pins, they get there, it get broken. It's a very, very fragile environment you're working in.
Definitely a quick win. Let's look ahead into the future. Small future. EuroFinance 2026. Only 1 year. I look backwards to EuroFinance 24. I see big differences already on the AI. The answers the audience is giving. What do you think next year is the big theme? What are we talking about next year?
It's hard to think that anything else other than AI will become a lot more of a theme, but a lot more understanding. This is the thing. I think we're a bit in the wilderness when it comes to AI. It's got a lot of promise. There's a lot of talk around it, these buzzwords we talked about. But I think over the next year, with the introduction of agentic AI, we're actually going to see some real scenarios where it's adding value to the system. So I think it's going to be an important one next year. I'm looking forward to that. But I struggle with the state of the art, as we should stay where we are now. There's so many companies promising the world, and I would love to have the time of day to sit down and fully understand what they're doing, to analyze myself if it could bring value. But I'm really looking forward. This is a really exciting time at the moment. It truly is.
It's going to be the proof of the pudding now. The promises they make. Can you fulfill them?
I'm quite jealous of the younger generation of treasurers coming in at the moment. They've got an exciting time ahead, I think.
Do they? I saw an audience question there. Is AI not a threat? Is it going to take over? Are we going to lose jobs because of it? And I had that question in actually 2 of my panels. Is AI going to cost my job? One of them was that direct. Another one was more, is it going to change my job? What's your opinion?
I'm going to be positive on this. It is something that needs to be considered. I think maybe more entry-level jobs, if anything, will be exposed, because it's going to deal with those repetitive tasks, that low-hanging fruit within the department that it can take care of. But ultimately, I think it's going to allow teams to engage in more productive projects. It's going to give them more satisfaction from the roles rather than just doing that day-to-day stuff that we all hate. So no, I don't think it's going to take over. I think jobs are still safe.
It's hard to predict, of course. We can't look into the long-term future.
No.
If you ask Mr. Ford 100 years ago, but you asked for the people, they wanted faster horses and not necessarily a car. But that aside, maybe a quick takeaway from one of my panels. I had Booking.com there, and the question came there, and the treasurer there said, I hired 2 new data scientists who are actually in the treasury team. So this is your answer right there. The team is expanding. It's maybe not a representation of the market. Booking.com is one of the biggest, most centralized, but that's one answer right there. And I'm not worried as well.
No, we've been around long enough. Treasury roles have been constantly evolving. This is something that became very useful to my career, where if you were at all interested in technology and you work within a treasury environment, all of a sudden 10 years ago, you became extremely useful.
Yes.
You became, and so to me, this was a big advantage to my career. So I suppose the underlying message is, if you consider AI is going to be a risk to your job, make yourself useful.
Then you're the problem. Not AI is the problem.
No, because this goes across everything. I've got 2 adult kids both studying at university now. This is a constant conversation in my house, to the point the youngest, why am I studying? Am I going to have a job with AI? And this, you're here, so make yourself useful. That's the underlying message, no matter what you do. I think that's a good guidance for everybody at the moment,
I see another audience question from Vincenzo on exotic currencies, trapped cash. Is that something you can support on?
The Nomentia, So we do have, that's a regular question. identifying your trapped cash and being able to manage that within your forecast is something we can do. You know, we do have functionality for that. Exotic currencies, in what terms?
Exotic countries, trapped cash in exotic countries. Sorry, I read that wrong. So it's really about the trapped cash part.
Yeah. So from a legislation point of view, not much help I can give there, but we have a vast network of banking connections. You know, that I don't think there's any corner of the world Nomentia has not been yet. We're going to, it's 10,000 plus bank relationships we have with different levels of connection from host to host, enhanced in web-based solutions, and ultimately Swift network. We're a fully certified Swift partner. So yeah, it's I think we're probably best in business at getting access to those accounts and identifying it.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense. That's the first step. Get access to it, and then next step is getting it out of the country. But that's not something a TMS does. That's regulations. And,
it's more of a strategy, internal strategy.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. I often see, and that's my final question. So if the audience has more questions, please send them in now. I also hear treasurers decision fatigue. There are so many vendors out there. Patrick, help me decide. I feel overwhelmed by the choices there are. I'm scared to make the wrong decision. So for now, I'm making a no decision. And no decision is also decision.
Analysis
not necessarily the best one. So what's your advice for those treasurers? Where do you start in tech? How to make the best choice?
Just by listening to podcasts like this is not a bad idea. No, seriously. So I think staying involved in the industry, there's enough people like yourself with a wealth of experience talking about it, the continuous improvements, the evolution of treasury systems. There's enough vendor scorecards out there as well in the industry you should take advantage of. I think from an approach, a point of view, because this is something we do as well within my commercial side of the business. So when I engage with the sales team, we go to a customer, it's quite often the case. They know they need it, but they don't know where to start. So we sit down, we plan that journey for them. You know, we have a roadmap laid out, so we can support that as well in-house. But I think probably identify what's costing you the most time. What's the biggest red flag you have at the moment in your team? Isolate that and just try to solve that problem first. And just the success of that win will then help you on the next step, then what you need to improve. And coming back again to this modular approach, looking for a system that's got a hyper modular approach, simple strategy for implementation. I think it adds so much value. Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. And my 2 cents, go out there and thoroughly compare what is out there. Of course, don't listen to the pitch. That was your advice. But then form your own opinion, and EuroFinance is amazing for that. You have all the vendors here. Listen to their stories, break through the pitch, and then go home and compare, map it to your setup, and go from there. Perfect. I'm at the end of my questions. Declan, great answers, great story telling. Thanks for having you.
You're more than welcome.
Turning to the audience, if you want to know more, if you have burning questions you don't want to put in the chat and want to ask Declan directly, connect with him on LinkedIn.
Absolutely,
If you're at the conference, there's still a few hours left to visit the Nomentia stand. Declan will be there. Otherwise, connect with Nomentia, connect with Declan to ask all the questions you want to know. And I'll leave it at this. Thanks, Declan. Thanks, audience, for listening. And enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you, Patrick. Bye, everyone.